Yeah, Lee and Cindy, just as you mentioned, there's so many fire departments represented here today, and as you go farther and farther down that line, you'll see more and more from southern Maine, including Cape Elizabeth and York, South Portland, Westbrook, all here, but also many from Massachusetts as well, including Amesbury, Lynn, Massachusetts, and then out of state, firefighters from Maryland, and including at least one representative from Horry County in South Carolina, where Captain Barnes did work for a period of time. The mood out here on the street for a while has been an attempt to keep things somewhat lighthearted, but we all know that the moment that fire truck comes down Spring Street, the mood is going to change pretty significantly. And although there is still the concept and that overtone of knowing why these men and women are here today, they're trying to stay together in their thoughts and feelings and prayers for the captain's family and his fellow brothers and sisters in the fire service. What will happen is, as that truck comes down here, it'll come right to this gray platform, this metal platform right outside the Cross Insurance Arena. That's where Captain Barnes will be unloaded from his fire truck, the pumper, and then he'll be brought inside to the Cross Insurance Arena, and that's when they'll try to get these 6,000 plus firefighters that are represented here inside to the arena in about 30 minutes or so time, which is quite a tall task. But there are also honor guards here from South Berwick, the Maine Forest Rangers, the Bangor Fire Department. So when we talk about the 125 different Maine fire departments that are represented, it really does span the entire state. Greenville, Rockland, if you can name a city or town in the state of Maine, it's very likely that they are represented here. So there's quite a lot of people all here, many of whom who say they did not know Captain Barnes personally, but they're here because they want to support their fellow firefighters in the service and the family. That has been one of the most present themes that I keep hearing from people that we've interviewed, is that they really want to show respect for the family who's here, because obviously it's a major loss for them, as well as all their brothers and sisters in the fire service. Lee and Cindy.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Because I know you were walking around, you got to see just how many communities were represented here.
It really was staggering, Lee and Cindy, to see how many different communities, not just from Maine, right, but New Hampshire was very well represented, at least 29 towns. And another 20 plus from Massachusetts as well. And one of the things that was interesting was the organizers have told us that those are low estimates. They're probably more than that really here in attendance. They had said that it would take, they had about 25 minutes to take the 6,000 plus firefighters lined up here along Spring Street to get them into the Cross Insurance Arena for this funeral today. And there were so many that did not know Captain Barnes personally, even here in Maine. We talked to the fire chief from Wales, who said it's important to be here not just for our fellow firefighters, but also to show respect to his family, the immense loss that they've suffered, and in the very public and tragic way that it happened. But we did also speak with the assistant chief from Horry County, where Captain Barnes used to work in South Carolina for a period of time. Yeah, and he said that the way that Captain Barnes passed away is the highest honor. And it's sort of a strange thought to reconcile, that you could die in such a very sad way, a very tragic way, but that it is such an honor because you're doing it to save and protect one of your own fellow firefighters. That really was the sentiment from all the firefighters that we spoke with, either recording an interview or even just kind of in passing. And one thing that struck me when we spoke to some firefighters from Massachusetts, some from Worcester, some from Boston, who have been through these types of processions before with their own fellow firefighters who have passed away. They said it doesn't matter what type of death it is for a firefighter, whether it's something like cancer or perhaps a heart attack 24 hours after the fact, or a line of duty death like this, they're still equally as emotional and equally sad. And that's why it's so important for them to be here today and support the people in Maine and the firefighters in Maine, because firefighters from Maine have done that for them when they've been in those circumstances.
Right. And you also talk about the...
I did read on one website through the Maine Fire Chiefs Association. It was an old standard of protocol for funerals like this. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that any time, and actually, Tim, you can correct me on this, if a firefighter dies in the line of duty, especially protecting somebody else, they're almost automatically awarded that Medal of Valor. Tim's nodding his head yes. And this is something that I think Bill Clinton had put into place back in 2000. Was he made this award recognized federally? So it is the highest honor you can receive probably as a firefighter.